Good afternoon, Bournemouth fans. We are here at the shirt framing service in Creekmore, and I'm here with Jack. Jack, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Very good. How are Plymouth doing at the moment?
Not too bad at the moment. We got promoted last year.
Yeah.
We got beat by Cheltenham last night 2-0.
Yeah.
In the Paint Cup or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so we're doing all right. I think we'll be okay with Ryan Lowe.
Yeah, well, you will. So, yeah, Jack is a Plymouth fan of the Green Army, but we're not here, thankfully, to talk about them, although we may allude to it a little bit later on. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much, because you did us a really big favour with framing a shirt recently that went towards Mark Jackson's 1,000 miles in a year he's running, and in the end he raised over £1,000 for that, and it was a signed shirt that was donated to us. You kindly framed it, and the money's gone to the Dorset Children's Foundation. So yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So yeah, you're based here at the moment at the Arena Business Centre in Poole.
Yep.
How long have you been here? And tell us a little bit about the shirt framing service.
So we've been here actually 8 or 9 weeks now. So not too long. We started off in my dad's shed.
Yep.
They went to a shop, great little shop in Folkestone called In Off the Far Post.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Bournemouth fans are kind of familiar with that place. Then we moved up to Broadstone. Now we've got into here, which is a lot bigger, and we've got lots more shirts and lots more items going out. So it's all good fun, really.
Have you been affected through coronavirus at all, or have things been quite steady for you?
Apart from the kind of obvious with people coming in and different masks and stuff, it's actually been beneficial for us. We actually frame all over Europe now. So we did a door-to-door service, so people at home in their home offices and going, probably should get that one done. So it's affected us, it's benefited us really.
Yeah, I mean, being local, I can imagine that you've got quite a lot of AFC Bournemouth stuff that comes in, because obviously I know you do stuff online, but also people can come here as well. And drop off their shirts and other stuff as well. Yeah. Is there a lot of AFC Bournemouth stuff you tend to do?
We do loads. Yeah. I mean, we've probably done every single player signed from Bournemouth in the last 5 years. I mean, so much so that on social media and stuff, we put teams together. Yeah. We get to understand a little bit about the players and what they do as well, and who signs the most, who won't sign the most, how to get the guys to sign, and a few kind of interesting stories as well. So.
This is quite. So I mean, which Cherries players do you tend to get in quite a lot then? Which shirts have been signed?
Tyrone Mings, when he used to be at the club, was brilliant. I mean, there's been lots of stories that I've heard that people get in contact with him on Twitter, and he would go and meet them. He would meet them for a game of football.
Yeah. I was one of them actually.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
And just be like brilliant. Mark Pugh, we get loads of Mark Pugh stuff in. Even now. Steve Cook's great as well. So there's some players that are not as good. Yeah. But I think most of the players, if you're polite, if you kind of go up and ask them and don't ask for too much, they're always kind of willing, which is interesting. But you get to hear some great stories about how players and how they reach out to fans a lot of the time to help them out.
So, I mean, what's the best way to approach a player and get them to sign? I mean, firstly, on shirts, do you need a particular type of pen?
Yes.
You can't be turning up with a biro or whatever, for instance.
Well, ideally you go with a permanent marker. Yeah. The other thing we see a lot is customers will get their full shirt signed by someone, and it will just be a shirt. If you put something inside of it, then the shirts will come out clearer when they sign. Yeah. The other thing is, players are only human. They're only kind of just like me and you, but a lot of time incredibly talented and dedicated. So if you contact a player on Twitter and say, can I have one of your shirts, match one and sign, they're probably going to say no. Yeah. But if you were to say to them, can I drop one at the club, drop a shirt at the club, can you sign it? No problem. Yeah. Most of the time players are good as gold. Yeah. And I think it's a lot of time it's about how you approach them. I've heard rumours and things that obviously not your current favourite or ever your favourite, but Ryan Fraser, shouldn't really be talking about him, but he didn't really like being called Wee Man, I've heard.
Oh right. Okay.
So he liked to be called Ryan, and when you addressed him as Ryan, he was more likely to.
Interesting.
So that's another thing.
Perhaps an inferiority complex there.
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to say.
Not my place to comment, but
in terms of match worn shirts. You know what? I've been on eBay and I see these links posted on Twitter to people that have got what they say are match worn shirts, and you know, I would look at a shirt on eBay or whatever, they could say it's match worn, and all I would see is some kind of squiggle and maybe a number next to it. For me, I wouldn't have a clue whether that's a real shirt, you know, someone's just made up the signature themselves. Is there any real way of telling whether it's authentic or not?
Yeah. To start with, who you buying from? Do they seem legitimate? You know, have they got hundreds and hundreds of shirts from all around the world with the same colour pen, with the same squirrels? Yeah. You know, a lot of the time, if you're getting, for example, fully signed Bournemouth shirt, the pen's being passed around the changing room. So if it's all the same thickness of the pen, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fake. Yeah. You know, if Jefferson Lamb is passing it to, I don't know, Begovic or something like that, the different side of the pen's going to be used. Yeah. You know, a lot of the shirts are not always perfect as well. Okay, if you see smudges on them, chances are that it's more genuine than not. But kind of the main points are check out who you're buying from, see if they're legitimate, and find out where it's come from. A certificate authentication is always good, best from the club. But if you've got, you know, a sporting memorabilia company, find out who they are, have a look at it online, and usually you can find out whether they're real or not.
Brilliant. So, I mean, the success of AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League, and I mean, obviously around the world, our profile has gone absolutely huge. Now we're back in the Championship, but in terms of your business, I'm sure locally, you know, AFC Bournemouth has had its benefit. Of course. But you've also got tie-ups, well, with certain organisations, haven't you? Yeah. Whereby you're getting national exposure as well.
Yeah, we recently took part in the Lionhearts campaign with the FA. So that was the England team, the FA. They effectively selected 23 different people who'd helped or gone over and beyond through COVID, and they've been presenting shirts kind of left, right, and centre for like the last couple of months. So they've had people like Tom Moore, Joe Wicks as well, Betty Ann Allinson. Just a few who've kind of raised money for the NHS, different things like that. So it's a really kind of exciting project to be a part of, and I'm still pinching myself anyway, knowing that we're framing for the FA and see David Beckham holding up old Rooney. I'm just like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? But it's great, you know.
So this whole framing of shirts, it's something that's a relatively new thing, really, and you think it's, you know, you'd think it's something fairly simple to do, but by the looks of it and the time you put into it, it's not. And maybe the price from some people would dictate that it does take a long time, based on some of the quotes that I've seen online for north of £300.
Yeah. In terms of places charging £300, is we do it slightly differently. We source all our materials differently. Meaning that we buy the backboards from somewhere, we buy the perspex from somewhere, and we bring it all together. The guys where we have benefited is we're not making them from scratch from 100 different styles. We're saying, here you go, guys, we've got this, still with the same quality, but just a different way of doing it.
So is it a complicated process to be framing shirts?
It takes a while, yeah. It's taken a while. I mean, I started framing them myself, first Plymouth shirt 10 years ago, and it looked awful, if I'm completely honest. But we've now got going into framing a shirt from start to finish, probably about 50 or 60 different processes to ensure it's all straight. Wow. You know, the other problems that we have sometimes is you wouldn't believe the amount of numbers and letters printed on for match worn shirts.
Oh right.
They are all over the place because the players are wearing them and chucking them away.
Yeah.
So to get that straight with red and black stripes is a nightmare.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
It's taken a bit of work to get them.
So there are a couple shirts behind us, as you can see, an AFC Bournemouth shirt there looking beautiful, but it's not just football shirts you do, isn't it?
No.
You do all sorts of stuff.
Cricket bats, boxing gloves, anything to do with sports really, boots as well. We've done lots for the Boot the Virus recently. So we've had all sorts of, we've had a lot of Fulham boots for some reason. And a lot of Bournemouth boots, Dan Juma boots, and different things like that. So, I mean, the weirdest one that possibly we've done is someone asked us to frame sumo wrestlers used.
As you do.
And, I mean, as much as it's nice to get orders in, I refuse that. I wasn't gonna touch that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what state it was going to turn up in, but we've been asked to do kind of blankets as well, cutlery. So it's all a bit strange. Some of it shorts, undergarments. Where the
wow.
So
yeah, so some stuff you have to turn down, but in terms of what you do here, I mean, I've just been having a brief look around, and as you can see on screen, I mean, yeah, some of these shirts and absolutely looking superb. Now, the shirt that you did for us, for Mark Jackson, that helped the Dorset Children's Foundation. It's a charity that seems to be quite close to your heart, and you've had a relationship with them for quite a while, and you've done a few bits for them, is that right?
Yeah, well, it first started off, we did myself and 5 of my friends, including TJ, who does a lot for you guys. In fact, when I did a half marathon, TJ managed to run a 10k in a pair of trainers after a fair few beers and beat everybody's time.
No way.
So the boy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we raised some money for a family to go on holiday to Disneyland, who wouldn't usually have the opportunity. But the guys at Dorset Children's Foundation are absolutely fantastic. Alex
Deutsch,
he's brilliant. Patsy, who runs it, and Scott as well. And they just do so much for the local community. So it's great to be able to be a part of it somehow. And yeah, we try to get involved as much as we can with those guys.
So when fans are back at the stadium, which hopefully will be at some point, so I mean, when it will be, I don't know, but I have got a shirt in mind that I'd like a Bournemouth player to sign. And if I can, you get him to sign it. What would be, I mean, obviously, I'm local, so it's easy for me to come down here, but, you know, how would someone, you know, go about, you know, actually having a shirt framed with you if they were, say, somewhere a bit further afield?
So, in terms of catching players at the ground, best thing to do is probably catch them during training. They come in during training. Everybody's at when they're watching. You know, when Bournemouth, they fill the stadium most weeks. And
good point.
And you know, it's difficult to get because there's a lot of guys who are looking for autographs to sell on. There are a lot of guys whose shirts to sell on as well. So to get that, it's sometimes difficult. So if you go on a training day, again, the players are usually pretty good. If you're not in the country, or if you're around the country, you can order online and you can send us a shirt. We frame up between 2 and 3 weeks, and we'll send it back to you fully looking great. Brilliant. So we've sent some Bournemouth shirts out to Ireland. Yeah, some Bournemouth shirts out to Switzerland. So, I mean, I'm still hoping some Plymouth shirts get to America and stuff.
Thailand and Indonesia.
But I don't know. We very rarely see Argyle shirts in. Which would be good if we could see a few more. But.
Yeah, well, you know, hopefully if Bournemouth get back to the Premier League, then you'll be inundated with even more shirts. And Andy, who's actually filming this today, he actually got a shirt done as well. I think you guys did it, and he also was at the training ground and saw Jefferson Lerma and saw a number of players. And yeah, it is seemingly the best time to do it because, as you say, after a game, there are so many people clamouring for signatures, and some of them just, you know, like you can imagine they just want to get home or, you know, get in if they're, you know, that way, you know, if it's before. So yeah, what plans for the shirt framing service for the future? Because you're here in Poole at the moment. Do you have a tie-up within Off the Far Post still, do you?
Yeah, so we still work with those guys. Paul is brilliant. If you haven't been to that shop over in Folkestone, it's absolutely great. It's got so much memorabilia in, but for us, we just aim to get bigger and bigger, to get more clubs on board, framing for clubs, to go farther afield. You know, we're sending them out to Europe. We'd love to send them out to America and all these different places, and just really grow and, you know, continue giving a good service, which is affordable as well. Because, you know, the reason we started is because I went in to get my promotion and it was 350 quid. It shouldn't be like that. It should be so you can get your best player and your prize on the wall looking good for a good price as well. So
brilliant. Well, Jack, it's been superb to chat to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll just have a shot again of that shirt. There you can see the shirt that Mark Jackson, I can't remember who won it actually, but yeah, in the end he raised over £1,000 for the Dorset Children's Foundation. Before the shirt, I think he was on about 200. So, you know, thanks to you guys, it's been a real success. And we'll put the link in the description to all their socials and their website below. Watch out for those fake shirts, they are about, ladies and gents. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.